Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3. And today I'm going to be giving you part 13 of What If Naruto was created from the God Tree. Remember to give this one to 100 like as usual guys. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto became the Wrath of the Namikaze. And enjoy that guys over an Anime King 2. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new series over on Anime King of What If Naruto was the God of Sound. And also guys, if you're new, yes, I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post what if every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all for helping and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last part we left off, 6 years has passed since the death of the Uchiha members, the death of Danzo and the elders and several respective council members. It has been 6 long years. We started out by seeing Mito as she was hanging out with Sasuke as both of them made their way. They spoke casually, despite the events that followed 6 years ago. As they were making their way to the academy, it was the day of the test. Arriving there, they greet their friends. As everything seemed normal about Mito, got a few stares along the way. Some of them of pity, some of them of sadness, some of them of just indifference. They arrived as they performed the tests. It didn't take them too long to pass as the both of them had extensive training from their loved ones. And it was rather easy for them to pass. As Mito thought to herself, the whole situation regarding Naruto, Sasuke did not make his thoughts known about what exactly did he want. He kept the information regarding Naruto to himself. The death of his father and some of his clansmen, he never openly spoke about what his intentions are regarding Naruto. As to save their friendship, they didn't speak about it. As Mito couldn't find herself seeing Sasuke ever again in the past because her brother had slaughtered his father. And she didn't know what Sasuke would think of her. But he was the one that broke the ice. And things just span out from there. But there were problems under the surface that the both of them did not address. But so far everything was going along great. So with that, they meet their parents. Itachi was not here as Mikoto told Sasuke that he was busy, as he was now the head of the clan after all. We then skip to Hiruzen. Things have been going well over the past couple of years. There has been no sign of Naruto, almost like he fell off the face of the earth. It was almost like Hiruzen didn't know what to think about that Naruto had took his life. For all the pain that he had felt, by now Hiruzen and Itachi knew that Naruto did this to save the village. But to go that far, to risk the love that he had for his family, they did not understand that part. Jiraiya had been out there searching, but nothing, he couldn't find nothing. Hiruzen had shown his support to the family, and Anko had been there as well as a driving force to keep Kushina and Mito stable. As Kushina had really taken the deal a lot, Hitomi had been there as well. Now that her sickness had been healed up by Naruto, the child that she was so grateful for, Hinata as well, who was grateful for him saving her and her mother as well. As he wondered where Naruto was, we then skip to a faraway city, away from the elemental nations. Well, it was still in the world, but away from all the high villages. It was a small village. In said village, there was two girls. One of them being a redhead, the other one had blue hair. These were Guren and Karen. These girls were found by Naruto, as there was a woman there, as she seemed to be the leader of this village, as alongside their husband. Naruto was the one that freed them from the tyranny of the bandits that tried to overtake their entire village. After he had been on the road, they had settled on here a few months ago, and they had gotten to know the people here. The place was isolated and a place for Naruto to relax. The woman had gained his trust as he told her a few things about himself. As we had dived into a flashback at how he met Karen, as she had run away from the land of grass. Naruto had came there and brutalized the man that took advantage of her as he took her along with him. Her hair reminded him so much of the family he once had. Naruto had found a way to stop himself. He could literally pull nature chakra out of the earth, but the thing was, it was violent against him. So he wore a necklace, as the nature chakra constantly pumped a small amount if he ever went overboard to suppress him, so he wouldn't crave for a chakra. While being around these people, they didn't have that much chakras in Ninja Village, so it was better for him to be here. Going back to Konoha would just cause him trouble. So everything was going far so well, as Naruto had also met Guren, as her village had been destroyed, and she was on her own ever since, as they were the ones that took her in. It was hard to gain her trust at first, as she thought they just want to use her. We then skip back to Konoha as Mito had went back home, as there was a small fox in her bed. The thing was Snow White, beautiful eyes. Its name was Sahara-chan, but it didn't seem normal, seeing that it could talk, but only Mito could hear it. So yeah guys, so basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So let's begin this new episode. We start this off with a flashback. Mito found herself in the forest of death, as she was looking for Anko. In a few months, she will be graduating and she will become a genin. Anko had been teaching her on the side. But when Mito arrived today, she wasn't here, so Mito believed that she was in the forest. Anko had told her that that place was not ready for someone like her. It was too dangerous. But Mito on the other hand didn't listen, so she went in there the same way. Upon entering said forest, she glanced around and she heard movements, creatures lurking in the darkness. But she paid them no mind as she tried to find Anko. But Anko was nowhere to be seen. She kept on walking as she heard a strange sound as she snapped her head back, only to see that it was nothing but a giant scorpion as a thing moved past. It did not notice her though. That was good. As she continued to walk, she paused as she started to get freaked out by this place. Maybe it wasn't a good idea. As she started to back towards the gates, it was then that said scorpion burst from the earth, showing itself. Mito's eyes went wide as the thing was large. It lashed out at her, but she quickly substituted with a log as it crashed in where she was. Mito hopped to the trees as she started to run, the thing chasing after her. She glanced back behind her, she saw that it was gone. Looking around, she made a beeline towards the gates, until the tail slapped her out of the tree, destroying said tree in process. Her eyes went wide as she was about to fall, right in its pincers. It raised its pincer to chop her into half, only for something to slam right on top of it. Mito fell as she flipped just in time. Whatever the thing was, it crushed the scorpion. As Mito's eyes went wide, backing up, she saw the thing was no longer moving. What the hell, she said, confused by what that just was. It was then that she saw the Snow White fox crawling off the scorpion's head. The fox tilted its head looking at her, those beautiful eyes glistening. She has never seen a fox like this before. The color was so unique. Fur as white as snow. Are you alright? Mito paused as she glanced around. Down here. The fox came closer to her. Wait, you can talk? Yes. I was asking, are you alright? As Mito cooed at the fox, it was just so cute. Well, thanks to you. Hey, do you mind if I pick you up? She asked. As the fox nodded, sure, go ahead. As she picked the fox up in her arms, Just as I thought, your fur. It's so fluffy, said Mito, as she caressed the fox. Why, thank you, she said. You're a girl. What's your name? Mito asked. I don't really have one. Why don't you give me a name? Really? You're giving me that honor, said Mito. Yes, go ahead, the fox said. Mito thought about it. As she racked her brain, as she got it. How about Sahara? Sahara. Sahara the snow fox. It's quite catching with your name. I like it, Sahara said. So, Sahara, how did you do that? I mean, that thing was large. I would have fight it, but it just caught me off guard, but still. You're a baby fox. You're not exactly normal, are you? I'm not exactly sure. Uncle landed in the field at that moment. Mito, what are you doing? She said. I told you that you were not ready for this place. As Uncle then saw, did you do that? Tell her that it was you. Said Sahara. She can hear you. Said Mito. Huh? Who are you talking to? Wait, you can't hear her? Huh? What are you talking about? Said Uncle. It seems she can't hear me, said Sahara. As Mito placed the fox to her side. Oh, well, it attacked me, so I fought back. Huh. Seems like you're getting stronger than I thought. You did quite some damage. And given how large this thing was, I'm proud of you, Uncle said. Thanks, big sister Uncle, said Mito with a smile. As we escaped to the present time, that was how Mito met Sahara. It turns out that Sahara didn't know where she was from. The last thing she could remember was waking up in the forest some time ago, and then she's been living thus far. And so far the only one that can hear her is Mito. The reason why she didn't bring her around in the village was because, given what she contained, and these villagers, some of them are still ignorant. Yes, she knew about the Kyuubi, her mother had told her, when she saw the looks and everything. But yeah, she didn't carry around Sahara because people would start to say that she was supporting the fox dealings, as her mother had spoke to her about that. But no one else could hear Sahara speak, only her. Which was rather unique, not to mention the small fox was not a pushover either. For a small animal, it was rather powerful. But it made no sense how it was that powerful. Well, only time would tell. Meanwhile, at the Uchiha compound, as there was a knock on the door. You can come in. Sasuke Uchiha stepped in the room as he saw his brother. As the room had been turned into an office. The spare room where Itachi had his paperwork and everything regarding the clan. Ah, Sasuke. I apologize I couldn't make it to congratulate you. But I see that you now possess a headband, which makes you a shinobi of the hidden leaf. I see that congratulations are in order. Congratulations, he said. Took you a long while to say that, big brother, said Sasuke, with a smile on his face. As Itachi motioned him over, Sasuke came. Itachi poked him right on the headband. I'm proud of you, he said. Come on, did you even have a doubt, Sasuke asked. Well, not really. But still, can't I be proud of my little brother? I guess you're right, said Sasuke with a smile on his face. I'm sorry to say, but I'm really busy, Sasuke. Why don't you get washed up and get ready for bed? I'll come by to say goodnight, okay? Alright, Sasuke said, sound a bit sad. Don't worry, Sasuke. I'll be finished with this soon enough. And then, we can spend some more time together, okay? Sasuke nodded. Alright, big brother, he said, as he made his way. Once Sasuke was gone, Itachi turned back to the papers. He had taken over as the head of the Uchiha clan. Responsibility has fallen on him. Several things has happened since the death of the other members. The ones that now remain had a deep grudge, a deep hatred for Naruto because some of their family members were killed. But the coup was no longer a thing. Despite that, Itachi was trying to build his clan back up to the reputation that it once held. The police force had been weakened severely because a lot of the members that Naruto killed were indeed a part of the police force. But the ones that have grown had taken over for their elder men and still harbored the police force, keeping the village stable internally, while the other forces dealt with external threats. Itachi, has been trying to keep everything together. He could do without the paperwork, but still, this was his clan. And he had to fix the mistakes that his father made by uniting the clan more in the village and making nice to the other clans. There was even talks of him being married off to another member to strengthen a bond in another clan in Konoha. With him now being the leader, Itachi wanted the Uchiha clan to be more open, to not solely rely on their eyes, not solely seclude themselves like they were some caged animal. They need to socialize more with the village. His father had been groans in them, but now that Danzo was dead, things could finally change. Although he could really do without the paperwork once again. Sometimes it was a lot, but still. He needed to make sure that his clan was back on top. As he sighed, he could never forget the sacrifice that Naruto made to make sure that he didn't have to go through with something that he didn't want to. He still had his mother, and he still had his younger brother. And most members of his clans were still here. But that still didn't mean the scar was not on them. As he wondered how Naruto was doing, he knew that Naruto would not take his life. Most people had been saying that was the truth because he has been gone for the past 6 years. Not even a sighting, not even the best tracker Jerv the Sun could find him. So that was kind of a big downer. He had tried to be there as much as he could for Sasuke and Mito in turn, knowing that Naruto would ask him to watch over them. But he could only do so much. Sasuke would not open up to him about his feelings regarding Naruto. He had never spoken of him even once after what he did. Just that night, and then he just went quiet about Naruto. As Sasuke perhaps have some anger towards him a lot. But still, he did not know the truth that Itachi knew. All he could do now was keep his clan stable, as the best of his ability. Meanwhile that was going on. At the small city, things were peaceful as usual, but Problem always seemed to seek out Naruto for some reason. Despite him wanting to be left alone, Problem still tried to find him. At the moment, Karen and Guren were currently standing in a field at the outskirts of the village. Along with traveling with Naruto, he also taught them. As he was rather powerful, none of them knew the extent of his power, but he was rather powerful. The two girls had been in a competition ever since. They started to get along. It was friendly bantering though, even though they might be harsh at each other most times. They cared for each other a lot. They were like sisters. At the moment though, two chains were coming from Karen's back as she launched them forward, only for Guren to slam her hand down as a crystal wall came up in front of her, blocking the chains. But it didn't last long as the chains literally tore right through it, forcing Guren to hop back. The chains tried to grab her, but she substituted as the chains grabbed a log. She appeared behind Karen as she threw a fist forward. Karen turned as she caught said fist. She smirked as she pulled Guren down and threw a fist towards her stomach, but Guren blocked it away with her knee before she leaned out a palm strike towards Karen's face. Karen tilted her head to the side before she thrust out her own palm as well as she connected in Guren's shoulder, staggering her back. As she was still holding on to her arm, Guren used the momentum as she was stronger than Karen to twist and pull her along before throwing her over her shoulder. She then moved in for the punch, but her fist made contact with a piece of wood. Substitution. She leaped away as a special kunai landed where she was. It was silver, but the silver was a bit more tint. Karen landed and picked up the kunai as Guren created a crystal blade on her arm as they clashed. Both girls clashed until they got exhausted. And by that point they were panting. But Guren had run out rather quickly than Karen because Karen, her Uzumaki side offered her a lot of chakra. But still, Karen was the most beaten. Guren was still stronger than her. Karen was never the hand-to-hand fighting type, but she realized that she might need it one day in the future. So she asked Naruto to train her in the hand fighting type, but Guren had been using hand-to-hand fighting for a long time, and not to mention, she was older than Karen. Karen dropped to her back as she panted in exhaustion. "I'm done," she said. "Figure," said Guren as she dropped down to her butt as well. "But you're getting better," she said. "Your hand-to-hand combat are coming along rather quickly. Not to mention your fighting style with that kunai of yours. Soon you'll be able to move on to dual kunais, said Guren. You think? Said Karen. Well, I'm not just boasting your ego for nothing. As with that, Karen smiled. As she wanted to show Naruto that all of his training was paying off. She wanted to make him proud. It was then that she saw something in the sky. What the hell is that? She said. What are you... As they saw something coming down, it was golden. Is that a golden bird? No, it was too big as it got larger and larger. It was then that they saw the headband. And the man on it with a strange mouthpiece. He had a strange weapon as he started to fire it. Guren instantly went through handstand as she raised a crystal wall over the both of them. The weapon connected with the crystal wall, but it did not completely pierce through. The man whipped over their heads at fast rate. Both girls were tired, but the crystal wall held up until several of those individuals landed. The strange thing that they used to fly, as it caused a lot of dust and debris in the area. Who the hell are you people? Said Karen behind the crystal wall. That is not important. The important thing is, one of you is coming with us. What? And what if we say no? The man smirked as his friends all landed down. Oh, it's not a question. It's more like a demand. You really don't know who you're messing with, said Karen. This won't end lightly. If you know what's good for you, I suggest you turn around and just leave. Huh. Funny. But I'm afraid that we can't do that. With that, they all launched themselves forward. The crystal wall didn't have as much chakra in it to sustain it because of how tired Guren was. She started to struggle against the weight as she was being attacked. Karen, go. I'll hold him off. What? Are you crazy? I can't just leave you here. Look, the both of us are exhausted. Just go. Tell Naruto what's going on. I'll provide a distraction. Just go, alright? I'll keep them occupied. I can't hold this so much longer. Please, just do it. Naruto will save me. Alright, fine. But don't do anything stupid. As Karen ran, using the last amount of her strength to run as fast as possible. And where do you think you're... The man was caught off guard as a shard of crystal ruptured through his leg. He screamed out in pain. You bitch! He dropped to the ground as his friend came over and backhanded Guren. She landed on the ground as she spat. He rushed towards her to grab her butt. Her crystal blade formed in her hand as she stabbed it directly through his stomach. The man gurgled as he looked down as she shoved him off. The rest of them rushed towards her. Meanwhile, a far distance away, back into the village and beyond, as Naruto was not exactly in the village. Something that he did every once in a while. As Naruto knew that he was not exactly normal. He knew that by now, but there was so much darkness. It was the reason why he clashed with nature. He was the complete opposite of life and purity despite being able to control plants and trees. There was a darkness inside of him that he purged every now and then. It was said darkness that wanted him to suck all chakra from the earth and release that woman. He kept that darkness at bay by purging it into the earth. Every now and then he could feel it tainting his very soul. He didn't know where it came from, but it kept on bringing that thing, that tail monstrosity in his dreams. That thing was filled with nothing but death and destruction. He figured that he was a part of it somehow. That is what he get the darkness from. He shook his head as his eyes were closed. He was in a deep state of concentration. He was out in the hilly parts of the village, far away from the people, so they would not be affected by this because being too close to him while he was doing this could negatively affect someone the wrong way, as he purged all of it into the ground. The grass itself had no longer existed around here, and it would never grow back because of the tainted darkness that Naruto released. It was chakra in a way, but it was just so corrupted, foul. Chakra that was never meant or safe for humans. As he kept on releasing it, the trees around, they had turned into husks. Even the boulders had crumbled up, unable to withstand it, despite them being just objects. There was a black ball. You could barely see him in the center. While in this, he could not sense or feel anything around him. But he heard someone screaming out his name. As the person kept on screaming, Naruto, Naruto. It was then that the darkness it absorbed back into his body as he didn't have time to fully send that rest of it into the earth. And he couldn't just let it left in the air like that. It would negatively affect the village as he glanced down. It was then that he saw the woman Zana, holding an exhausted Karen in her arms. Naruto instantly shot forward as he was in front of her. In a second, it caught her off guard. She sometimes forget how fast he was. "What's going on?" said Naruto. It was then that he felt it and looked up. He saw there was a massive ship, a monstrosity of sorts in the sky. "What is that?" he said. "I don't know," said Zana. "But some people, they have come here." As Karen cut her off, "They took Guren," she said. As Naruto checked her, she was just tired. "Take her inside. I'll handle this." The woman nodded as Naruto blasted off. Flying towards said airship, he saw several ninjas down below. Damn it. He knew that sooner or later that something would find him. That black creature was also searching after him. But he created clones and sent them out to spread his chakra ever here and now, so the thing would think he was far away from here. But he deluded himself to think that he would be safe and protected from everything. Meanwhile, down below, "Why are you doing this?" one of the villagers said as he had a butcher knife in his hand, as he was a town butcher. As the Sky Ninja just chuckled a bit. "Our goals are beyond your comprehension," he said, in a sarcastic tone. "Now, take her," he said to his friends. "I won't let you," as they went after the man's daughter. The Sky Ninja raised his hand to knock the man away until something caught his wrist. It was then that the butcher saw Naruto's hand, he said. As Naruto squeezed the fist, the man dropped, releasing the girl as she rushed to her father. "Take her and go," said Naruto. As Naruto looked around, because he was so distracted as he saw several of the houses had been destroyed with various attacks, and these guys causing nothing but problem. The necklace around his neck started to glow, pumping nature engine to calm his system down as he could feel the rage coming on. It has been getting worse ever since he left the village. His rage is anger, and whenever he got too angry, Naruto moved, still holding on to the hand of the Sky Ninja before he grabbed the face of the one that spoke. As Naruto's fingers dig into the side of the man's head, he screamed. As his friend appeared behind Naruto, flying as fast as he could, he brought up the kunai launcher as he launched several kunais. Naruto's eyes snapped towards him, his Renny Sharingan focusing on the kunais. They got warped and twisted before they just blinked out of reality. The man screamed as they tear into his back as he collapsed on the ground. The others tried to flee, but Naruto raised his hand. They found their machines unable to keep them up. What the hell? As Naruto dragged, their bodies were viciously slammed into the ground, bodies crushing under weight. His Renny Sharingan started to swirl. As they started to scream, more pressure started to be applied until pop, pop, pop. Bodies started to turn into paste. Naruto slammed both hands together as the earth shifted. The earth then opened up and swallowed the bodies. He then looked up towards the sky ship before he shot straight up in the heavens, flying directly towards it. It only took him a few seconds as Naruto landed right on it. He pushed his hand forward and ripped into the rough metal, his fingers carving into it before he tore it open. He then flew inside, breaking and destroying everything in his path. It only took him a while to arrive on the main floor, as he saw dozens of ninjas in his path. "Get out of my way!" With a single shout, an enormous amount of energy exploded from him. Meanwhile, upstairs in a chair, a man was sitting on the throne. As he was laughing, his body pulsating, as the power was so remarkable. "You won't get away with this." Beside his throne was the tied up Guren, as she glared at him. The man had white hair, as he was dressed in a formal clothing. He had lines under his eyes like Itachi, thick eyebrows as he smirked. Oh, get away with it. Actually, he's coming directly towards me, as Goren glared at the man. He waited as he heard the explosions, until the ground ripped open. It was then that Naruto emerged. As he landed, seeing Goren, Naruto started to calmly walk towards her. She smiled seeing him, knowing that he would come to rescue her. Naruto didn't even pay the man a single glance. As he looked at the chains, gripping them with both hands, he broke them apart. Are you okay? He said. Yeah, just a bit beaten up, but I'll live, she said. Seeing the bruise and markings on her, Naruto closed his eyes to stem his rage. Before he tapped his finger on her forehead, he had mastered that ability that he had used on Itachi and Uncle all that time ago. But this time he was now able to purify it. A lot more dense. Goren felt the warm sensation rushing through her body. As her bruises started to fade away, her cut started to heal. It was a form of medical ninjutsu, but in a rather different way. It was a lot faster as well. She felt a lot more energized, and not to mention, she felt fine, no longer exhausted. Creating a clone, the clone took her hand. He will guide you out of here. No, I want to pay that bastard back for what he did. Naruto turned towards her. It's alright, Goren, he said. Let me handle this now. I'll pay him back for the both of us. And Karen as well. Alright, she said. Make sure to kick his ass. He was the one that sent his goons after me. As she glared at the man that is known as Shino. But Shino said nothing as he watched the whole scene in front of him, still sitting on his throne. The clone escorted her out of there, going back towards the village. Why have you done this? Said Naruto. As Shino simply laughed. You. I've been waiting for you this entire time. You've been waiting for me, said Naruto. Yes. Through my years of searching, I've never felt something that could enrich the Zero Tail this much. It feeds on negative emotions, the darkness in one's soul, but you're like a living buffet for it. And with your help, you allow me to gain the perfect body. The man's shirt exploded in his cheer as he cracked the armrests by simply gripping it. Dark chakra oozed off him. Connected myself to the Zero Tail, feeding off that power that is coming from you. It's so amazing. As Naruto glanced down towards the ground, his eyes scanning through the ship, he was able to see the Zero Tail what he was talking about. A strange monstrosity. It was in a strange, solidified tube something. So that's Zero Tail. You can see it, the man said. Remarkable. You truly are remarkable, boy, he said. He was now a lot more muscular, and he had long flowing black hair, with a smirk on his face. Tell me, what exactly are you? Because there's no way that you can be human. I have searched all this time for the perfect host that will embody the very thing that this Zero Tail is. But you, there's so much darkness, so much in your soul, so much. The Zero Tail is having a buffet right now, and all that power, mixed with my medical art, is giving me the perfect body. The ultimate body, he says. His muscles start to ride and twist. With this amount of power, with you forever by my side, I shall reclaim the skies under the control of the Sky Nation and lord myself over the other grounds people, as I will retake everything. Firstly, destroying Konoha for their attack on us back in the Third Great Shinobi War. As Naruto's eyes focused on the man, with me at your side, it seems like you've mistaken about something. How will you plan to do that? He asks. Boy, you have no idea what I am right now. As his muscles start to ride, you have no idea what I'm capable of. I will give you 5 seconds to think this over before I put you in a whirl of pure agony and chain you down at my side. 1. I would like to see you try, said Naruto as he still did not directly look at the man. 2. You surely are something, staring death in the eyes, and yet you do not flinch. 3. As he started to march forward. 4. 5. He appeared behind Naruto, as his fist shot forward, and yet it slammed into Naruto's palm. A violent explosion of dark chakra exploded from the contact, throwing Shino back as Naruto did not move. Naruto was finding it hard to concentrate. This thing, whatever it was, the Zero Tails, it was trying to suck him dry of all that dark energy, but the thing was, Naruto was literally made from the thing, so it was bringing up so much power out of him that he was trying to keep restrained as Naruto was trying to fight it back, but it was just so much. A wicked grin came on Naruto's face as his body started to ooze with dark chakra. Shino got up. Remarkable. You truly aren't normal, are you? Yes. Give in. Give in to the darkness in your heart. As Naruto threw his head back. It belongs to me, he said. All of it. All chakra belongs to me, he screamed. As his body started to pulsate. As Naruto's eyes snapped open. The Tenseigan opened up in his forehead as his Ren Sharingan started to swirl. He dropped to his knees, his hands making crater in the earth as he dropped. As his body started to tremble. Down below, the Zero Tail was getting wild and large. As Shino was just getting more and more powerful. Yes, yes, he screamed. As Naruto gripped his head. As a necklace started working overdrive. As there was all of the nature energy shooting up into his system. It was currently affecting Naruto badly. As he coughed. It was literally clashing with his insides. Naruto coughed in his hand. As there was blood. He clenched his fist and slowly picked himself off the ground. The moment he did, a fist slammed into his face, throwing his head back. As Shino then gripped him by the throat and slammed Naruto down the ground. He then got up back to his feet. No lie here, he said. You will be my internal source of energy. As he started to walk towards his throne. As Naruto rose off the ground. Shino turned as Naruto did not use his hands, he just rose. Meanwhile, in her seal, Kaguya's eyes went wide when Naruto's entire body came inside. He has grown quite into the perfect specimen. As she looked at him with a feral look in her eyes. He told her that he would never give in to her, but yet here he was. For the past 3 years he has been trying to decline her, telling her no. But now, his eyes were wide. Emptiness. As she caressed his body and pulled him close. Chakra started to explode from her very being and swallow him. As Naruto found himself drowning in her power. Back in the real world, the place was going haywire. The sky was literally shifting and changing. The heavens crying as power exploded from the Sky Nation. What the hell? Said Gurren as she looked up as Naruto clone had exploded. As Karen came out, what's going on, she said, followed by San as all the people looked up in the sky. Rain started to come down heavy. It was like one of the raindrops was a stone. As they hit the roofs, it sounded like a drum beating down hard. They had to get out of it. This was definitely not normal. The sky started to clash with black lightning. The clouds becoming dark. The ground rumbling, the sky trembling. The air itself became thick and heavy. Back in the ship, as Shino placed his hands in front of him, he never expected this. This was more than he expected. His body started to swell until he became something of a grotesque monster. As he started to become larger and larger, feeding off the power, as it was being pumped right into his very being. As Naruto's body was just releasing that black, corrupted energy that shot off into the sky. Back in the seal, Kaguya kept on holding him close. As she reached down towards his ear. You're mine, and no one else's. She gripped his head as she looked into his eyes. Kaguya found herself inside his mind. That is where she saw him, as he was curled up in a ball on the ground, his whole body being held down by the oppressing force of his own power, which was being used against him. She calmly walked over. "Naruto," she said. As he turned towards her, she reached out her hand. But before she could touch his hand though, her hand was grabbed. She slowly turned to see Kushina. "What? How are you?" Kushina slugged her in the face, throwing her back. As Kaguya cursed, she was in his mind, she was feeling actual pain. Kushina walked over towards Naruto as she held his hand and gave him the brightest smile. "Remember who you are. You're Naruto Uzumaki. You are my son." Hearing that, the darkness just seemed to blow away as Kaguya was thrown out of his mind. As Naruto looked up, "Kushina, I will always love you," she said. Back in the real world, well, back in the seal first, Kaguya was shoved away from Naruto. "I won't let you," said Naruto. As she was thrown back, she crashed in a desolate land. In the seal that she was currently in, she picked herself up. As she reached up towards her lips, blood. She was actually bleeding. She licked her lips though. "I see, someone's getting feisty. But it doesn't matter," she said, getting to her feet. "As much as you fight it, no one else understands you as I do. And you belong to me. I claim you already. You're mine, no one else. It doesn't matter how long you fight or how hard you fight. You will return to me one day. And you will stand by my side as mine." "That will never happen," said Naruto. "Only time will tell," she said. "I wish you good luck on your journey. I hope to see you soon." As Naruto exploded in pure white and vanished. As Kaguya reached up towards her lips, he actually made her bleed. As she smiled, instead of being angry, she simply smiled. Meanwhile, the pressure just suddenly stopped. Shino was confused. "Where's all that power?" he said. His size had tripled as he looked down towards Naruto. As Naruto blinked several times, as he placed a hand to his chest, the necklace was gone. It had exploded. He would need to create another one. Too much of this negative energy. He shook his head and regained focus. "I said, where's that power?" Shino dropped his fist. Shino tried to crush Naruto, but to his surprise, Naruto held it up as the ground cracked underneath him. "This is not going to be like a moment ago," said Naruto, as a blue light formed in his hand, creating a sight, a literal sight, like what the Reapers carry. As he swiped, Shino cried out in pain. As Naruto tore his arm off completely, he staggered back. "You brat! What have you done?" As he pounced, Naruto jumped up in the air and smashed his fist in his face. His body was thrown. It smashed into the wall and collapsed. As he tried to get up, Naruto pulled his hand back and tossed the sight. It tripled in size as it stabbed through his chest and pinned him to the wall. Shino coughed up blood. "You think this can stop me?" he said. He gripped the sight and ripped it out. "I have the ultimate body. I cannot be stopped." As his hand regrew, as he clenched his fists, "Now do you see how futile your attempts are? I am in charge here. Now bow!" As he brought his hands down on Naruto, it slammed down and crushed the ground. Only for his eyes went wide as Naruto jumped back and literally broke his finger, pulling it with him, cracking it off. The man screamed as Naruto ran up his arm and slammed his foot in his face, splashing his head into the wall. He pulled his head out as Naruto punched his eye right in. The man screamed as blood gushed down his face. Naruto flipped over him as he tried to bite him. He raised both his hands and dropped it in his skull. Shino collapsed to the ground. Even with all the power that he's consumed from Naruto's power inside, the darkness, He still didn't stand a chance. How is this possible? With all this power? It is at least Tailbeast's level. You shouldn't be able. You shouldn't be able to do this. He held both hands to his sides as two black spears with tainted energy swirling around him spar. Take this as he launched them forward. Naruto raised both hands as a blue spear covered both hands. As he blasted the techniques to the side, they exploded from the side of the castle. Countless sky ninjas being obliterated in the blast. Just because you feed on my power doesn't mean that you're anything like I am, said Naruto as he stepped forward. You might think that you're strong and untouchable, but I'm something else. I'm something different. I'm something that you can't even comprehend. Now, as you were saying, bow. Shino head slammed into the earth, blood leaking from it rather rapidly, as a force had just drive him down. As Naruto stepped on top of his head and started grinding it into the ground, until the man's face was being pressed down tightly. Dozens of sky ninjas rushed in the room, as they started to hurl juices towards him. Their juices were simply being ignored, as Naruto absorbed all of them. This place, all of you people, you've come here, caused this ruckus, and now I'll have to leave. For that, you will pay the ultimate price. As Naruto shot to the ceiling, he grabbed on straight to the top of the castle and started to push it straight up in the sky. As he started to leave, it went so far that the people of the village could not even see it anymore. Where is it going? Naruto burst to the top. As Shino's face started to recover, its body rapidly healing. He looked up as he saw Naruto raise his hand to the heavens. Naruto's eyes switched to the Tenseigan as the Renin Sharingan went in his forehead this time. A small ball started to gather at his tip of his fingers. All 5 of them started to turn red, the heat coming off of them creating smoke in the sky, so much so that the place, the whole area started to change. The city itself started to melt, sky ninjas collapsing on the ground, as they could not breathe properly. The heat was just too immense. As Shino saw what Naruto was gonna do, he thrust both fists forward too, projectiles of dark energy about to slam into Naruto. But a truth-seeking orb knocked away his techniques like it was nothing. Burn in hell, said Naruto as he dropped the ball of pure fire. Shino tried to move, but it was too late, and not to mention he was too large to escape. The ball erupted. 4 truth-seeking orbs came from Naruto and swallowed the entire castle, as the heat was too much to be experienced by the villagers. The ball cooked the castle alive. Trapped inside the black spear of the 4 truth-seeking orbs, it was burned into dust. Screams of the dying could be heard as Shino was turned into nothing but dust. Once that was done, Naruto stood there in mid-air, as he was barely even winded. Something like that would not put a damper on his power, but that almost got him to turn into something that he didn't want to turn into. But while he was going through that, he sensed it. That thing that he was afraid to turn into. It was not at its full power. It needed him. He could feel it. Its eyes were closed. It was now a statue. As Naruto glanced forward to see a man standing in front of him, his Tenseigan showing a man. "Who are you?" said Naruto. "You know me," the man said. "You need to allow me to speak." "Allow you to speak? You are letting my mother corrupt you too much. Me and my brother need to talk to you. We need to speak." With that, he was gone. As Naruto's eyes returned back to normal, he sighed. This wasn't the first time that was happening. That was the man that he saw in his dreams. Him and his brother, from what he could see, they were related to that woman. As Naruto could still feel the dark power inside of him, despite Shino taking so much of it, it just felt unending. Shino was right, he was Tailbeast level. Perhaps the power of something regarding a 6 or 7 tail in terms of power. But still, he was not strong enough to put Naruto down to his knees. Naruto wasn't sure that anyone could, if he truly decided to fight seriously. But he still had issues if he get too angry. His power was uncontrollable, and that woman would use the chance to break herself free, and she would come for him. He didn't fear her, but he felt like he couldn't control himself if she actually broke free. He glanced up towards the moon as he saw her looking at him with that beautiful smile of hers. He frowned before he floated back down to the ground. The moment he did, Naruto rushing over was the two girls. "Are you okay?" they both asked. "I'm quite fine," he said, as he looked at them. They breathed a sigh of relief. "Are they gone?" "Yeah," said Naruto. "Are you guys okay?" "Yeah, we're fine." "We should be asking you that. You just fought that by yourself." "We should have helped you," said Karen. "I mean, what was the point of us training if we couldn't..." As Naruto placed a hand on their heads, "You were occupied with training yourself, and they caught you at the wrong time. Next time, if this were to happen again, I'm sure with all of your training you will be ready," said Naruto. "Don't worry. And after all, we're not looking for a fight," he said. "Yeah, I guess you're right," said Gurren. "But they're just lucky that they caught us off guard like that. And they also caught us while we're exhausted. Cowards." As Naruto chuckled a bit. "We have to leave," he said. "Leave? What, this place?" "They've been here for a few months now. As they didn't really settle down in a place for too long, but this place was so remote that they had settled down in it." "Yeah," said Naruto. "I hate to bring them any more trouble. But if we're gone and those thugs come back, who will protect them?" "I have that covered. But it's time that we say goodbye," said Naruto. He was sure that that thing was gonna sense what he did here and come after him. He could sense that that thing, that black thing, was related to that woman. It was the same power he had encountered in the past, but it was so slippery it had gotten away. He could sense it, but he could also blend its power quite well with the earth. So he had to real focus, but he could sense it. But it was smart. It knew that he wanted it dead, so it sent the other one, the white one, which he completely destroyed. It did not come in person, but it was related to that woman, so it was no good. It probably wanted to free that woman. But as everything as he could see so far, he would never do that. Unknown to Naruto though, she was not his only problem. Never in history has the 10 tails ever created a human form. The Shinju, the god tree, always did as it was tended to do. Bear a fruit so the Otsutsuki could eat it. So Naruto being born from it was a rare thing that never happened before. But the oddity of his chakra and his power could be sensed, not just on Earth, a distance away, not exactly, in the elemental nation. A pair of Byakugan eyes opened up, as a strange sensation was felt from Naruto going berserk a moment ago. What is that?" a voice said. But guys, be and subscribe right here for what's next person do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in social media platform. But I'm off for now. See you guys soon. Peace.